Imagine yourself in the quiet streets of 18th century Philadelphia. The air carries the faint scent of fresh linen and waxed candles, mingling with the distant chatter of merchants and townsfolk preparing for another day in the bustling colonial city. You step closer to a small, modest home tucked between cobblestone lanes. Inside, a woman sits by the soft glow of candlelight, her hands steady, her eyes focused. This woman is Betsy Ross, and she is about to undertake a task that will leave a lasting mark on the emerging identity of a new nation. As she picks up a piece of crimson fabric, the gentle hum of the city outside fades away, replaced by the quiet rhythm of sewing. Every careful stitch she makes carries with it not just the design of a flag, but the hopes, dreams, and spirit of an America finding its voice. Tonight, as you settle in, let yourself drift into this slow, historical journey. Discover the life, the challenges, and the quiet brilliance of Betsy Ross in a way that calms the mind and prepares it for restful sleep. Betsy Ross, born Elizabeth Griscom in 1752, grew up in a world both ordinary and extraordinary. Philadelphia, one of the largest cities in the American colonies, was alive with energy and opportunity, but life for most families was measured in simple routines. Betsy's parents were hard-working Quakers, emphasizing honesty, humility, and diligence. From an early age, she learned the delicate art of needlework, a skill that would later shape her place in history. In the quiet moments of her childhood, Betsy would sit by the window, observing the sun rise over the city rooftops, thinking about the intricate patterns of life that surrounded her. The streets were busy with carriages, merchants, and neighbors exchanging news. It was a time of both growth and uncertainty, as whispers of revolution and independence began threading through the conversations in taverns, homes, and churches alike. By the age of 16, Betsy had already become known for her skill with needle and thread. Small projects, from sewing uniforms to repairing household linens, earned her respect in the community. But beyond the practical, these tasks taught her patience, precision, and a quiet focus. Little did she know that these early lessons, practiced in stillness and care, would one day contribute to a piece of history that would drift across generations. Tonight, as you listen, imagine yourself leaning back in a soft chair, letting the gentle flow of Betsy's early life carry you deeper into the past. Feel the calm rhythm of her days, the meticulous care she took with each stitch, and allow your mind to wander slowly, like a thread weaving through the tapestry of colonial Philadelphia. Philadelphia in the 1770s was a city on the cusp of transformation. The cobblestone streets and brick townhouses held the stories of artisans, merchants, and families working to establish a sense of normalcy in a world growing restless. Revolutionary ideas were beginning to stir. The colonies were challenging old traditions, debating independence, and imagining the possibility of a country guided by new principles. Betsy Ross, though not a political figure herself, lived at the heart of this historical moment. She and her husband, John Ross, navigated daily life with quiet determination. Betsy continued her work as a seamstress, creating clothing, curtains, and household linens. It was a demanding life, yet there was a rhythm to it, a calm that comes from mastering a craft, from knowing that each stitch matters. One day, a small group of men arrived at her door, including George Washington, Robert Morris, and George Ross, her late husband's uncle. They sought a woman skilled in needlework to undertake a task unlike any other, to sew a flag that would represent a fledgling nation. The request was simple in words, yet profound in its implications. Betsy, accustomed to quiet labor and thoughtful work, understood the responsibility that lay before her. As the city hummed with news of impending revolution, Betsy prepared her tools: needles, threads of red, white, and blue, and a vision. Every detail mattered: the arrangement of stripes, the stars representing new states, and the symbolism that would speak to generations yet to unborn. The calm of her workspace contrasted with the urgency outside, but it was within this space that history quietly unfolded. As you listen, feel the slow pace of Betsy's surroundings. Imagine the candlelight flickering across the wooden table, the soft rustle of fabric, and the distant murmur of Philadelphia streets. This is a story designed not for excitement or drama, but for reflection, immersion, and a serene passage into the life of a woman whose hands would stitch together more than cloth. They would stitch together a symbol of freedom. The design of the first American flag, as told in legend and supported by historical discussion, was more than a task of sewing. It was a careful composition of ideals, color, and meaning. Betsy considered each element with precision: the 13 stripes to represent the colonies, and a field of blue upon which stars would shine as symbols of unity and hope. Sitting by the soft glow of her candle, Betsy laid the fabrics across the table. The red stripe was vibrant, yet dignified, representing courage and resilience. The white stripe, calm and unassuming, stood for purity and integrity. Each star, carefully embroidered, was more than decoration. It was a promise, a vision of a new nation rising slowly from the foundations of struggle and aspiration. Some historians debate whether Betsy Ross designed the first flag exactly as we know it today. What remains true, however, is her role in sewing a flag for the Continental Congress, a quiet contribution to history that would echo for centuries. As she stitched, her hands moved with deliberate care, her mind focused yet serene. The act itself was meditative, a reflection of patience, skill, and quiet determination. Every stitch told a story, every thread carried the weight of a nation's hopes. For those who have ever sat at a table, sewing, painting, or creating, there is a familiar rhythm: the ebb and flow of effort, concentration, and subtle accomplishment. It is a rhythm that invites relaxation, contemplation, and tonight, sleep. As you imagine Betsy's careful work, allow yourself to drift along with her movements. Picture the threads intertwining, forming not just a flag, but a story, a symbol, and a moment frozen in history. With each passing moment, let the steady, deliberate pace guide your mind into calm reflection, letting history gently rock you toward rest. Even for someone as skilled as Betsy Ross, sewing the flag was not without its quiet challenges. The fabric was heavy, the design complex, and the importance of each detail undeniable. She faced long hours, the occasional misthreaded stitch, and moments when concentration wavered. Yet in every challenge there was a lesson: patience, precision, and the knowledge that small, consistent effort shapes lasting results. Outside her window, Philadelphia moved through its own challenges. Revolutionary tension filled the air, yet her workspace remained a sanctuary of calm. Each morning, the sun would light the edges of her table, the threads shimmering in soft warmth. The streets may have been busy with discussion and debate, but inside, time moved slowly, deliberately, with a focus on craft over clamor. It is in these quiet moments, the rustle of fabric, the whisper of thread through cloth, the soft scratch of needle on linen, that history often breathes. Betsy Ross's contribution may have been a single piece of sewn fabric, but it was imbued with intention, care, and a gentle resilience that resonates even today. As you settle further into this story, let the rhythm of her work become your own. Feel the calm determination in every stitch. Allow the soft imagery of 18th century Philadelphia to lull your mind, guiding your thoughts from the day's noise into reflective serenity. Here, in the quiet of history, sleep finds its gentle companion. The flag Betsy Ross sewed did not merely mark the birth of a nation, it became a symbol of unity, courage, and hope. While the exact details of her involvement remain part of history's gentle debate, the story itself has endured, whispered through generations, celebrated quietly in museums, textbooks, and bedtime tales alike. Her work reminds us that history is often built not just in grand speeches or battles, but in the quiet persistence of ordinary individuals. A seamstress in Philadelphia, guided by skill, patience, and a sense of purpose, helped create a symbol that would travel across continents, wars, and time. As you listen to this story tonight, let it remind you that significance often resides in subtlety. The world moves quickly, but calm, steady effort, like Betsy's stitches,